on the other two sticks, because basically you could just muck up the configuration of the settings of the BIOS, and it basically just wouldn't work.
Steve, the megahertz is the speed of it, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, right, okay. Friends, anybody that wants to ask the question in the chat room to Steve about installing memory in your desktop computer, feel free to type into the chat room.
And I do have a website as well if you want to check it out, and as well, so which I will get the link to that just now.
Right. Now, Liquid Silver, I know him this quite a number of years. Tom actually works at computers himself, and he works, I think it's a 24-hour thing, 7 days a week. But anybody that doesn't understand and maybe possibility thinking of upgrading their memory, maybe they're only got say 2 gigs of memory in Windows 7, and it's maybe bogging them down and they need a wee bit more memory, and you want to save yourselves money, how to install it. This is the opportunity here, because to take a computer to a computer shop to get memory put in, you will have to pay for it.
And that is my computer website, so if anybody wants to go and check it out, so feel free to sign up, make donations or whatever, and leave comments. There is some videos on there as well. I'm still obviously trying to get it updated as I go along, but so you will have to bear with me. I can help you at any time. Just leave a message and I will get back to you as soon as possible when I can.
And obviously, so Steve will tell you, use an anti-static wristband, friends.
Yes.
As a safety measure, okay. Obviously, some of us take a chance. Okay, I've done it myself many a time without one. It is very risky. I've just been lucky that I haven't blew my motherboard.
Obviously, you don't need to. I will point out, when you're putting in a power supply, you might not need it, but if you feel that you're unsure, then wear it at all times when you're installing each part, and you won't go wrong.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to type anything in the chat room or any questions to Steve, please feel free to do so. So I'll leave it sitting there for a second, Steve, in case anybody wants to ask you a question. And if not, then I'll move on to the next topic if you've finished, mate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be, like I say, the next possible part I'm hoping to buy is the processor, to try and get that out of the way, and then obviously the SSD driver, and obviously the hard drives.
Right. Could you just, I know you will be covering the processor in the near future.
Yes.
Could you just sort of point what you would be talking about there, so maybe someone's saying, well, where would it go, sort of thing.
Oh, as you can see, then you've got these two clip things either side of this square block here with a lever. This is where the processor goes. It has got an arrow on there as well, telling you which way the processor goes in. Obviously the processor will have pins on it, so when you're buying a new processor anywhere, whether it's online or from a computer shop or anywhere, you do not need to buy thermal paste, because the thermal paste will already be on the heatsinker that comes with the processor in. So basically, if you not good on technical terms of if you don't know your stuff from IT side of it, then basically you don't do your research before, which I have slipped up in the past, and there's been many a times where I've bought thermal paste and thought, well, yeah, that needs to be put on there, only to find out that I go to turn my computer on and it works for a couple of seconds and then it decides to make a loud bang. Then I had to take it to a computer shop, found out I put far too much thermal paste on, or I didn't need it because it already came with the thermal paste. So I kind of yeah, I was a bit unhappy that day when I bought a new motherboard and it landed up going
It's not.
well,
It's not. Yeah.
blew off on me, but
Yeah.
as they say, you learn by your mistakes, and I'm still learning even now. So,
Well, I am a great believer in technology. That there's not much happening. There's not many new devices coming out. Where it's a learning procedure. At least we're learning. At least we're learning.
no, it's not. It will be Windows 7 Ultimate for now because obviously my since Windows 8 has came out, I have been hearing pretty much bad reviews on it. It's too buggy. It's until they bring out the service pack, which should be next month or should be very soon. Then I will be sticking with Windows 7 at the moment, but possibly in the near future I will be upgrading to Windows 8 because obviously I do like challenges or I do like to set myself a challenge that I want to learn new things. So yeah.
Yeah. I'll talk about Windows 8 later. As Steve says, Windows 8, I bought it. I tested it out. I tested the development version of Windows 8 even before they released it. 64 on 32-bit. Now, there is a guy who does come into a computer room and he is using Windows 8 Adopt, and he's having no problems. I believe Adopt is one of the lucky ones up to now. Any other questions, friends, on the motherboard, or want to ask Steve any questions there? Please do.
I would point out as well one thing just remembered. Obviously, regarding the software side of it, if you're buying a motherboard, obviously there's some. It will tell you whether it's compatible for Windows 7, Windows 8. I did hear the other day that they are starting to make motherboards now that are compatible for all operating systems, which is obviously Windows 7, Windows 8, and also Linux. I will point out though, if you get a motherboard like this one is, that's only compatible, which is brand new, only compatible for Windows 7 or Windows 8, then it would be a waste of time to actually put Linux on it or any other operating system, because the simple fact is the drivers, you would have to try and go online to find it, and obviously it would be a bit well, I wouldn't say difficult, but it would be a bit time wasting. So this one, I did do my research, and obviously I like Windows operating system, so I stick with Windows operating system, but it's everybody's choices.
Yeah.
I did get asked the other day why have I always been such a good believer in AMD when somebody else, the person that asked me, has got an Intel motherboard and they said that Intel's the best. I said, well, it's basically because I did have an Intel motherboard years ago when I first started computer technology and the computer side of it. It was for Windows 98. I didn't like it, so I changed over to AMD, and since then I've been with AMD ever since. But I find that the performance side of it is for me, I find that AMD is more compatible and stable for most hardware and other things as that you buy. So, but it's up to the individual person whether they want to go with AMD or Intel. But
Yeah.
personally, I will stay with AMD in the near future. So hey,
Anything else, Steve, you want to cover, mate?
yeah, that's me.
Right.
I'm finished.
Okay, friends, what we're going to do now is Steve has covered the motherboard and the memory, and I would like to take the opportunity to thank him personally for helping out on the tag show, and he will probably be doing the same thing in the near future.
Yeah.
So I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you myself personally. It is appreciated, and if anyone in the near future in the room would like to talk about something that's close to their heart, whether it's a mobile phone or whatever, they're welcome to do so. We're trying to get everybody involved if possible, because without people coming in, basically the computer room means nothing. It's only as good as the people that support it. It's something that I personally do over the years because it's a hobby.
Yeah.
And I also,
to me as well.
yeah, we also like to help people out, believe it or not. We do spend quite a bit of time searching for something that could help you someday while you're using a computer, whether it's a MacBook, whether it's Linux, or whether it's a Windows operating system. Okay, so I'm going to close Skype, friends, on this particular computer. Reload Skype onto the iPod and bring our good friend Tax Renegade in, along with Steve. And there's 3 small topics I would personally like to cover. Okay, so bear with us. Steve, I will close this Skype and get you to call me back.
Good.
Just let me close this one, mate.
I'll turn my video off.
Okay, now you can see my ugly back. Right, friends, that's a MacBook sitting there if you're wondering what it is. Okay, the big monitor behind you is Crunchbang Linux, and this one here is Windows 7 64-bit. Okay, so bear with me to start the iPod up here. I have to sign in the Skype, obviously. While I'm doing that, I want to get a screenshot first. Okay, so just bear with me a second here. I do have some information here I want to share with you, and hopefully it'll help you out. Just give me a second, Steve, and I will start up Skype in a second, mate. Don't think that one's going to work. Just bear with me a second.